WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is in police custody in Britain facing charges of sex crimes. But as the Justice Department weighs whether or not it can bring charges against him for espionage, some lawmakers question whether the Obama administration has been forthcoming on the extent of damage caused by this document dump.
Well, Michigan Congressman Pete Hoekstra is the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. And let's start there with that question this morning, sir, which is whether or not the Obama administration has been forthcoming with the extent of the damage.
I don't think they've been forthcoming at all. Typically, the House Intelligence Committee, when we've got this type of massive security breach, counterintelligence, someone has stolen secrets from the United States, that information is given to the Intelligence Committee so that we can appraise, the damage that may be done. So far, the State Department has not given us access to any of the documents. They're going through a process which they call an interagency legal review as to whether those documents are available or should be made available to Congress. They've been made available to 500,000 people in the Department of Defense. WikiLeaks has them. Newspapers have them. The Obama administration ought to step up, give those documents to Congress.
Congressman, let's talk about what's next for Julian Assange. He's in jail in Britain for sexual assault. Is there a plan to charge him here by the U.S. with espionage or treason?
Well, only Eric Holder knows the answer to that question. I sure hope so. If you go through the chain of who should be charged, clearly the first person that needs to be found and charged is the person that stole this information from the U.S. government. Then we need to take every legal step that we can against Julian Assange. The courts will decide as to whether the charges that we bring or that are brought forward are legitimate charges. There's lots of questions about what you can and cannot do here with this cyber data and whether the legal framework is up to date to be able to charge Julian Assange or not. I sure hope so.
Well, Congressman, speak to that. It's really complex. A lot of Americans probably watching this morning saying, why hasn't this guy been charged yet? Why hasn't Eric Holder gone after this guy yet? There's been a lot of browbeating about this. But as you know, it's extremely difficult. I mean, encrypted files hidden on servers around the world. Whose country is this stuff living on? It's not as if you're driving into Des Moines, Iowa, and there's a building there that says WikiLeaks on the side of it, and you can go in and bust this guy, right?
That's exactly right, Clayton. You've got all of these kinds of problems and issues in cyberspace. The legal framework hasn't caught up with the kinds of threats that we currently face in cyberspace. Take a look at what's happened inside of our borders over just the last couple of days. We've got a county in Colorado where the Sheriff's Department has lost massive amounts of data regarding informants and those types of things. You've got a major retail pharmacy chain that has lost massive amounts of information on its customer database.
Wow.
And the legal framework has to catch up. Cyberspace is going to be is a huge threat on a number of different levels, from a personal level to what we've seen with WikiLeaks on a national security level.
Congressman, very quickly, do we know who funds WikiLeaks?
No, we don't. We don't know what their agenda is. This clearly is not a media outlet. They've got a political agenda. We ought to find out who funds it and what their agenda is.
Congressman, it'd be great to have you back here on the show over the course of the next year as we talk about the changing face of intelligence as it relates to this cybersecurity issue. I don't think it's getting enough attention, to be honest with you.
Congressman Pete Hoekstra.
It's going to be a huge issue
This morning, and we'll see you again.
Coming up here.